Hey everybody, how's it going? So recently I did a video on the fact that Facebook put up this feature that allows small business owners to host seminars to people who are, want to support these local businesses that are hurting, and Apple did not want to waive the 30% fee when customers wanted to support those small businesses, even though Facebook was not taking a cut of it. And on top of that, what added insult to injury is that when Facebook wanted to add a little message that said, Apple takes a 30% cut of this, we don't, they refused to allow that to be seen. So you see, Apple wants to be the half bitch of taking 30% of charity, but not be the whole bitch of letting people know that they're taking the 30% of the charity. Now, ever since I did that video, a lot of people have been asking me about this Epic Games Fortnite situation. I haven't really been following it much because I don't play Fortnite or any really mobile games, but I took a look at it, and what I get out of it is probably different than what most of you will get out of it. So it's probably not going to be much of interesting to you. So it looks like their developer account was terminated recently as a result of them refusing to disallow in-app purchases via some other way to try to get around the App Store fee. So Apple, if you have any sort of in-app purchases in the app, they're going to charge you 30%, and so they're going to take a 30% cut of it. And it looks like Epic Games with the game Fortnite was politely telling Apple, get out of here with that. Right, and I understand why. Now, the Epic Games refused to really compromise with Apple there, so they got booted. Now, what do I think of this? Well, a lot of people are saying it's unfair to have the 30% fee there, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the other side of where they're saying, listen, we created this mobile operating system. We created the hardware. We got billions of people around the world to want to use an iPhone. I mean, like, come on, man. Pay the fee. Good luck selling your app to users of the Pine phone. And I hear that argument. I do. If you want us to have this walled garden thing where we're checking out all these applications to ensure everything on our app store is to a certain level of quality, and you want us to keep making the devices that we do, then you got to pay for it. Whereas other people are just saying that this 30% fee is absolute and utter extortion. And then the people that are in favor of the 30% fee are laughing at the fact that Epic lost. Epic didn't actually lose here in a way, because what Epic did is they informed the normal public that Apple is taking this 30% fee. So a lot of people have no idea what these fee structures actually are. It's not like the information is hidden, it's out there, it's just that normal people have never had the reason to care or look into it. But then when some of their favorite stuff is removed from being accessible, now they have a reason to go out there and look up the reason for it, and then they figure out, oh wow, I didn't know that. So when a customer comes to me with a certain device and I can't fix it, even if I'm not able to fix it, when I tell them, I would like to fix your device, but I cannot buy a CD3217 because Apple told the company that makes it to not sell it to anybody, now they know that the company that manufactured their device are assholes. And that is then going to spread. So you're just planting the seed there. And what's happening here is the seed is getting planted. So with that Facebook move, now people know, oh, Apple's the type of company that wants to take 30% out of charity, and they don't want anybody to know about it. Oh, Apple's the type, people are starting to wake up to this, that there is this fee there. And in and of itself, is Epic screwing themselves? Yes, absolutely. I think Epic is shooting themselves in the foot. Their sales are going to go down tremendously because of this. And if you're looking at it from the business standpoint of are they going to do better as a company, that's a fail. But if you're thinking of it in terms of have we made consumers more aware of the stranglehold that Google and Apple have on the sale of applications, then yes. Now that is a victory. If we're framing it in terms of informing consumers of what's going on, Epic did a great thing there, even if they are sacrificing themselves in some way. And what I get out of it, is that it really does show how with new computing platforms, this is one of the reasons why I really hate this push for more people to use mobile apps and go mobile, is you really are giving up more and more and more and more control over the system. So if I want to buy an application for my desktop computer, the person selling me the desktop application is probably only paying a credit card processing fee. They don't have to give Microsoft 30% of the sale so that I can use it. They don't have to give Richard Stallman 30% of the sale so I can use it. They can just sell me the application. But here, there's that 30% troll toll. Now, you may say, well, Lewis, you can just install the application on your own, right? Well, in Android, you can. It's a bit more of a pain in the ass. And with an iPhone, it is a serious pain in the ass to install apps outside the App Store. They go out of their way to make it difficult for you to do that. And then they have their 30% troll toll if you want to buy anything through their official store. This is not something that would ever fly in a desktop computer. There is a store with Windows 10 where you could buy apps through the App Store, but if they said you are not allowed to install apps outside of the Windows Store and the Windows Store had a 30% fee, we would be out there with pitchforks rioting right now. But when it comes to the cell phone, we don't. Because with the desktop computer, we've accepted that things are a certain way. Yet when it comes to mobile, we are willing to accept a whole new set of rules. It's a whole different kind of rules of engagement with a mobile device. And this is something I've noticed over the past 10 years. I remember there's this gigantic push to, use tablets and do everything on mobile that you used to be able to do on a desktop. Who needs a desktop computer? Desktops are going the way of the dodo. I remember going to dinner in 2015 to celebrate the fact that we had hit a sales goal with everyone right after we turned off AdWords. So I just kind of someone asked, what were you spending on this, and the person managing it. So I decided to log into QuickBooks on my phone, and I wasn't able to view that particular section of the report. It really will only show me generalized things. I couldn't get down on all the nitty-gritty stuff. And then I tried to log on to the QuickBooks Online in my browser. I set request desktop site. It still wouldn't show it to me. So I wound up taking my laptop out of my bag, tethering it on the table to my phone, and looking it up. Technically, I could have used my phone to get that information. I would have had to install something that allows my browser to report to QuickBooks Online that I am using Internet Explorer on a Windows 7 desktop PC. At that point, it worked. I didn't try it at that point because I gave up and I said, fuck it. But it did really show me how limited it is. I showed you in a recent video, if I wanted to edit the location of my mid-roll ads, I'm not actually able to do that from the mobile app. The YouTube Studio app that's made by the company that is responsible for Android in this phone, which I find hysterical. If I want to install a different operating system on my phone than the one that comes with it, I can't just do that the way I could with a desktop computer. I have to root it. And with older phones, rooting is easier. With newer phones, rooting can be a nightmare to something that's not even available. We are willing to accept such a decreased level of freedom and control over the devices that we own as time goes on. And this is something that I've noted as well when it comes to right to repair. When it comes to right to repair, our tolerance for risk is so low now compared to what it was 70 or 80 years ago. That's the lobbyist arguments. If you replace the screen, what if you scratch your finger with the broken glass? Or what if this explodes? What if that explodes? What if this happens? What if that happens? I mean, nobody gave a shit about this when it came to cars. People were fixing their own cars. This is something that it weighs 4,000 pounds that goes 70 miles an hour down a highway. You can replace the brakes on it on your own. No one gives a shit. Yet with modern devices, there's this ridiculous craze where people pretend to care about your safety when in reality, a lot of it is about control. And we've allowed ourselves to own devices that for the most part seem to control us more than we control them because they are convenient. We are willing to exchange that freedom and control for convenience. And that's what I really note here. Like the fact that we're even having this type of conversation. Well, people say, well, why don't you just try selling outside of their app store and see what happens? You can sell the app outside the app store, but now you have to give people a guide on how to jailbreak their phones. In order to install an application on the device that you purchased, you have to fuck with it in a way that the manufacturer will tell you most likely voids your warranty just so that you have freedom again. And that's what I really notice here. That's the point that I focus on, not whether or not the 30% is moral or not whether or not Epic is shooting themselves in the foot from a business standpoint or not even whether what Epic did is a good thing, even if it's bad for their business, because it's going to wake up a lot of normal consumers to the fact that that this control exists in the marketplace. Just the fact that there is this incredibly decreased control over your own device. I remember the days when I could install an app like Barnacle on my phone, and that would allow me to do Wi-Fi tethering without having this bullshit 2 or 5 or 6 gigabyte or terabyte limit that you would get. Yeah, the gigabyte limit that you would get with your mobile data plan that at the time I was paying, I think, like $140 a month for when this stuff was more expensive. Now you can't, you gotta fuck with the phone endlessly to do that if you're even able to do that. I mean, on a computer, I can just take the internet connection that I'm paying for, and if I want to, if it has a second LAN port and I attach a wireless access point that I paid for it to it, I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. You can't with a phone. There are so many ways that the phone is limited and continues to become more and more limited. We're going to seal the battery in. There's not going to be an SD card in a slot anymore. You know, there's no way to turn off the radios on it unless you buy something like a Pine phone. There's so many ways that you're limited that you weren't limited before. And what bothers me is that if there's no real pushback against it, then people are right when they say that mobile, it will be the future. These devices will be the future, and the decreased standard of control and freedom that we have over these is going to be the standard that we are forced to live with moving forward in a marketplace where you have Apple and Google. Or a Pine phone, but I'll put a link to my first impressions of the Pine phone down below when I used it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.